Okay, good morning, friends. I'm Gosio by name, and this is Charles, my colleague. So today we want to do functionality test of SOV. As you can see, I'm having two different design of SOV here. So this one, as you can see, as the name implies, Maxseal is code 4S SOV, and this one is Asco SOV. So the two SOV are doing the same thing. So what they really do, the SOV is used on a control valve for quick opening and closing of the valve. So depending on how you want your valve to behave, as you can see now, we test the two SOV. But first of all, let's start with the Asco. So if you look at the Asco, look at it, he has two ports. This is number one port, the in, and this is the out. Now if you look at the Maxseal, he has three ports. This is the input, this is the output, this is the input, and this is the vent. Now what happened is, on this Maxseal is that you connect your fittings here, and this is where you get your power from. You terminate your cable here. Then if you look at this SOV, you see this is the out port, this is the in port, and this is the exhaust. We call it exhaust. Now for here in workshop, we decide to test it through the output. The reason is because the output here is common to the two. Now if I supply my instrument A from the output, I'm expecting that at the energized state, when it is not energized, should be expecting air coming out from the exhaust. Now when energized, now it's switching from the exhaust to the input. The same thing is applicable. If I connect it from the in, I'm expecting it to come out from the out. Now when energized, then you go, when the energized, then we now go back to, when energized, we go to the exhaust. So let's keep this aside. And before we start, we need to get our asphalt information. And the asphalt information is the details of the SOV. You can see, if you look at, there's a write up here on the nameplate. You get your information. You can see here, you get the voltage. The voltage for this Asco, we have your 125 DC volt, VDC, that is direct current. Now we have the power to be 16.8 watts. Then first of all, we'll open it, and then we'll do our measuring resistance, and also do our calculated resistance. The reason why we do measuring and calculated resistance, we want to compare the two values, what we have from our measure, and then also what we have from our calculated, to see if it is close, so that we will know. From there we can determine that the SOV will function properly. So before we do that, this is our Allen key. This Allen key, then we open the top cover of the SOV. Then Charles, you can do that. Then this is our multimeter, what we are going to use to do our to get our measure resistance. Then this is our probe. Then we have here our our connecting probe. So from the, you can look at the internal structure we have where we can terminate. So now connect our so connect our this thing. After that, so don't worry. So let's just pass. Okay. Connect yours. Take it to the multimeter. Take this. So we want to get our measure resistance. I'm your multimeter. Take it to resistance. Okay. As you can see, that is the value we have. That is our measure resistance. You can see. So we have our measure resistance value
1.027 kiloohms.
So you can decide to convert it to ohm, or you leave it in kiloohms. Now, after that, we are going to do our calculated resistance. But before we do our calculated resistance, I want to test the SOV to see. Now we have our fittings here. Thank you. So we'll connect our fittings. Connect our fittings. So we have a test bench here. You can see this is our times electronic test bench. Times electronic test bench. So we see where we have our instrument head. This is where we get our instrument head from. You can see here we have 10 bar. So this is the maximum this one can give us. Here we have 10 bar. Here we have 3 bar. Then here we have 3 bars. So we'll use here, because in this workshop here we are using 4 bar instrument A to test the SOV. So let's continue, Charles. So, and the voltage supply here is 125 volt. So we'll connect. This is where we get our 125 from our test bench. So we'll connect it here. Then we get our instrument A here. I'm taking it to 4 bar. Get this 4 bar. So what happens is that if I connect it at the energized state, I'm expecting it to come out here from this port. Now when energized, I'm expecting it to cut off immediately. So I connect. on the okay, let's try. So you can see it cut off automatically. So that's how SOV works. So it means that this SOV is working properly as it's being designed. Thank you, friends.